Before civilizations emerged, the hands of the farmer were at work, creating fields in the earth's thickets and grasses, uprooting trees and bushes, loosening rock until a patch of soil emerged where seed could take hold and yield crops. Humans have always been good at modifying the earth to meet their increasing demands. In the last half of the 20th century, population doubled, while food production increased 2.5 times. The gains achieved through this transformation of land have not been without costs. 10 to 20% of the world's dry lands are compromised, unable to support their populations. Billions of people are facing water scarcity or poor water quality. Each year, more than 25 million acres of cropland are significantly damaged or lost as rain and wind sweep away topsoil. The spread of urban centers also contributes to the loss of fertile ground. Why is it that despite our best intentions, many of the world's productive landscapes are in trouble? Lessons can be learned from history. There has never really been a golden age where humans treated natural resources with respect. Humans have lived as both a species within the environment and as innovators in shaping the environment to suit their purposes. Some ancient cultures carefully protected their resources, while others were destructive or at best short-sighted in their behavior. The lands of Iraq, a part of the Fertile Crescent where agriculture began 10,000 years ago, were once sources of wealth and innovation. They supported flourishing networks of commerce, trade, arts, and science. But today, Iraq grows little of its own food, mainly because of soil problems, concentrations of salts and erosion, coupled with problems of deforestation and war. Throughout history, the demand to increase food and fiber production has caused ecological pressures. Every region on this planet has a similar story to Iraq's. In the United States, the Midwest survived the Dust Bowl of the 1930s and endured the loss or displacement of half its soil after only 100 years of cultivation. Yet we know it isn't always this way. Soil scientists at Iowa State University have documented the positive, long-lasting effects that agriculture can have on soil and landscapes. In Peru's Colca Valley, the terraced soils are still in favorable condition after more than 1,500 years of cultivation, because the agricultural system is well adapted to the mountainous environment. Data suggest that soil changes have increased fertility and made the land more tillable. Here, traditional agriculture management practices have conserved soils. The indigenous people of Peru practiced resilience thinking, giving priority to the need to manage their environment to reduce risks and prepare themselves for drought, flood, and other unexpected events. How resilient are our lands here in the Midwest? What is our ability to retain productivity if we have another long drought, continual flooding, or oil shortages? Will people still be farming in Iowa 1,500 years from now, or even 200 years from now? The decisions we make today about our resources will affect agricultural production 50 years from now. The Midwest floods of 1993 and 2008, and the smaller floods in between, provided powerful evidence that every situation is different and that our environment is always changing. Annual precipitation in the Midwest since 1980 is higher than in years prior to 1970. Because precipitation is increasing, significant flooding is likely to increase. If we had adapted the land and land use more fully for unexpected rain events, could we have lessened the impact of the 2008 flooding? Are current approaches to sustainable resource management failing us? How does the goal of optimizing natural resources for short-term production affect resiliency? Can we bounce back or adapt to changes if we continue to make decisions assuming average conditions and incremental growth, while ignoring the impact of major disturbances? Today's agriculture measures its success by higher efficiency and higher yields, often failing to account for environmental factors such as soil erosion, water pollution and flooding, increasing global oil demands, things that could eventually collapse the overall system. In some situations, poverty and the instinct for survival push people to overuse their resources. In others, greed and willful consumption of resources lead to ecological degradation. Often we fail to understand the interaction and complexities of our social ecological systems. The pressure on the land will only increase. Toward the end of this decade, the United Nations estimates that for the first time in history, more people will live in urban areas than outside them. Today, urban sprawl with its increasing energy demands, continuous tillage of cropland, extreme rain events, drought, atmospheric change, and the heavy use of pesticides and fertilizers contribute to unsustainable situations. Land management techniques, diversification of energy, and long-term thinking have not advanced as quickly as technology and demand. However, humans are extremely adaptive, and ecosystems are amazingly dynamic. A balanced relationship of people to the earth and each other rests in embracing how the world really works and creating sustainable patterns of resource use. The rise and fall of human civilization depends on how people treat the land. The four major resources that humans must conserve in order to survive are the atmosphere and climate, energy sources, fresh water supplies because we are water, and the soil because we eat soil nutrients processed through plants. Of the four, soil loss happens at the slowest pace, which makes it very difficult to motivate action. Times of challenge are also times of opportunity and innovation. As Albert Einstein said, we won't solve the problems of the world from the thinking we were at when we created them. How can we think differently together? What can a culture of conservation and stewardship look like if we give environmental resiliency equal weight to production and consumption goals? Once again, the earth will be able to trust the purpose of our hands, opening to change, softening our impact, serving as stewards with an intimate knowledge of the soil, partnering with the land and all that dwells in it, conserving its resources, productivity, diversity, and beauty from generation to generation.